I get it, you're scrolling through a dozen guitar amps, wondering if any of them will actually let you play a decent gig in the backyard, a quick jam at a coffee shop, or just practice without blowing out the neighbor's windows. The fear of spending good money on a box that either sounds thin or dies the minute you need it most is real. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon, so you can see the exact model numbers and the current price before you decide. What makes the Coolmusic BP40D stand out is that it tries to be a hybrid, a powered acoustic amp, a Bluetooth speaker, and a mini-stage rig all rolled into one 80-watt case. That's a lot of promises, and the real question is whether the mix works in everyday scenarios. I spent a couple of evenings plugging it into an acoustic guitar, a small condenser mic for a podcast, and a phone for streaming playlists, just to see how it behaves when the volume gets pushed and when the battery drains. First off, the power output feels surprisingly balanced for a unit that's only about the size of a large laptop. The dual 6.5-inch woofers and the twin 2-inch tweeters give you a decent low-mid punch without getting muddy, which matters when you're trying to let an acoustic guitar's natural resonance shine through. When I turned the volume up to a level that would fill a modest backyard, the sound stayed clear, no harsh fizz or blown-out highs that you sometimes hear with cheap, underpowered amps. That clarity is a big win for anyone who wants to practice with a realistic tone or do a small acoustic set without renting a PA. One of the biggest selling points is the 6 inputs. You get 4 dedicated instrument jacks, so you can run 2 guitars, a microphone, and still have an auxiliary line for a phone or a laptop. The 2 extra AUX inputs are handy when you want to back a track from a tablet while you're playing, or when you're recording a quick video and need a clean feed for the camera. I tried a scenario where I had my acoustic guitar plugged into one input, a condenser mic on the mic switch for vocals, and a phone playing a metronome through an auxiliary. The amp handled all 3 without any noticeable latency or signal bleed, which is something you rarely see in portable amps at this price point. Bluetooth connectivity is another feature that can be a make or break depending on how reliable the pairing is. The BP40D paired with my phone in under 10 seconds and held the connection even when I walked a few meters away. The stream stayed uninterrupted while I shuffled through songs, so you can actually use it as a regular Bluetooth speaker when you're not playing an instrument. For buskers who want to switch between backing tracks and live playing on the fly, that kind of seamless handoff is useful. Just keep in mind that the Bluetooth range isn't unlimited. If you step out of the room, you'll start to notice dropouts. Battery life is where the trade-off shows up. The amp claims 68 hours of runtime, and that's roughly what I saw when I kept the volume at a moderate level. Push it to the max for a full band rehearsal, and you'll be looking at about 5 hours before the indicator starts flashing. The built-in rechargeable pack is a convenience, but if you plan on using the amp for an all-day outdoor gig, you'll want a spare power bank or a generator backup. For a typical 30-minute practice session, the battery will easily make it through without a hitch. Now, let's talk about who should actually consider buying this. If you're an acoustic guitarist who likes to travel, whether that means hopping between house gigs, teaching a couple of students in a park, or just moving from room to room at home, the BP40D's portable footprint and battery freedom are a real benefit. The built-in reverb, chorus, and delay effects give you a bit of texture without needing a separate pedal board, which is great for singer-songwriters who want a quick, plug-and-play vibe. The 6 inputs also make it a decent mini-hub for a small band or a duo who need to share mics and instruments without lugging a rack-mount mixer. On the flip side, if you're looking for a high-fidelity studio monitor or a full-scale PA system for a venue that seats 100 people, this isn't the amp for you. The 80-watt rating is respectable for a portable unit but won't dominate a large space, and the built-in effects, while handy, lack the depth you'd find on dedicated multi-effects processors. Also, if you need a rugged, road-ready case that can survive being tossed around in a gig truck, the BP40D's enclosure is more of a sturdy travel case than a battle-tested road case. It's built well enough for casual transport, but you'd want extra padding if you're constantly loading it onto a van. A practical weakness that some users might notice is the lack of a true XLR input for